welcome to the Income Producing Assets Show. I am your host, Erwin Anderson, and here at Ander Enterprise, we focus on financial security through income producing assets. And today, we are here with the one and only Ola Chi. What's good, brother? How you doing today?
Bro, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. All right, so man, Ola Chi is just changing things out here, helping a lot of people with credit, just giving away free game and building some really big community that is actually helping a lot of people. I go to his community. He does it every Thursday, BOE Nation, and a lot of people on there getting a lot of game that most people don't know this knowledge and they need to know. So how you doing today, bro?
Yeah, I'm great, man. I'm great. Thank you. How about yourself?
Doing absolutely amazing. I'm here with you, and we're blessed for that. So, man, for the listeners out there, can you tell them, a little bit about you and, what you do?
Well, that must be a trick question, right? I try to do as much as I can in life. But my name is Ola Chi Lati from the Bronx, New York, Parkchester to be exact. The 6th line and no line. There's a million things I could say, right? But what I do, brother, is I'm officially a credit strategist. I'm officially, and when I say officially, I mean not in the sense of having to take a test to be licensed. I say officially a credit strategist because I see myself in the credit game, or more like a hybrid. I'm not your typical credit repair guy. I don't believe in just repairing credit and that's it. I'm not a funding guy. I'm not going to get your credit right just to fund you and then leave you alone and just, you got all this money now, you just blow it and come back to me again. I'm more of like a strategist to guide you to get your credit right, show you where your credit money should go and how to leverage your credit to create an opportunity of not just residual income, but actual real income that builds as you grow.
That's good. So you said like unorthodox way, not your normal credit person, because we don't want them people going back. We want to build them up.
Yeah, I'm in a part of my life now to where I realize doing the same thing twice is just because you messed up the first time. That's how I see it, right? Like I shouldn't put you in position to be financially stable or create opportunity. And then you come right to me, then you're back to me again when things go left. To me, that's anti-productive. That's definitely the opposite of what I'm here for. I'm here to help you create the opportunities that you want, but in the same token, keep you financially stable to where if your ideology is, I don't want to work for nobody, you don't have to. If your ideology is, I want to be a boss and I'm going to create, this whole breaking the curse, I want to be able to make my family financially free. You have the opportunity to. I think people don't understand credit is people talk about real estate builds wealth. This builds wealth. That builds wealth. Well, credit is free money, right? Oh, well, no, there's an interest rate. No, there isn't. Because if you're doing the right thing with the credit, there is no interest. So it's all about understanding placement and understanding the opportunity you have in the full span of it. Not just looking at it as, oh, that's a Visa card. No, that's a sponsorship. And that's why I want people to understand. Understand that there is a sponsorship here and we have an opportunity to be sponsored.
So, can you explain that? Sponsorship.
Well, if I take my Visa card, right, and I know I have $25,000 available spending limit, right, and the house is $22,000 to put down on it. I use my Visa card to put down on the house. It just sponsors me a property. Now, people say, well, now you got debt of $22,000. You absolutely do. And when that property either gets fixed to flip or that property gets fixed to rent out, short term, or maybe annually, however you want to do it. Or maybe that property is fixed to be sold the way our great sister in the war, Rosie Jones does,
That's
to where
Rosie.
she rewrites the lease and then
Mm.
no, not the lease, excuse me, but rewrites the note of the property, and then she sells the property on almost like a rent to own type scenario for those that just want to get a good idea of what I'm speaking on, right? So it's not rent to own, but think about it as rent to own because you're in that property, it's yours. She's not a landlord. She just sold it to you. And you know, the beauty in all these different ways we can get it. The credit card sponsors all of those options I just said. Well, I give you like 3 or 4 options to make money on one property. Without that credit card, you're coming out of your pocket with that. So how do we not come out of our pocket, but still be able to get the property? Sponsorship, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, you pick. However you feel. You know, if you want to go FICO 9, we go FICO 9. If you want to go FICO 2, 3, 2, 4, and 5, we got those options too. So there's a FICO for literally every sponsorship that you could think of. And in each FICO, there's about maybe 50 to 100 different entities that deal with it. So let's do the math. There's a lot of money outside. All you need is a credit report and a strong audit. I hope that was good enough, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's important, you know what I'm saying, to have credit and leverage because I don't know a company out there that doesn't have debt. And you use the debt to leverage to get the assets. For
Bro,
sure.
my verbiage isn't even debt. My verbiage is sponsorship only because once you do a HELOC, once you sell the property, once you make back the money from the short-term rentals, there's no debt. The first thing you're going to do is pay down the debt that you created right away.
Right.
You have these opportunities immensely. Let's say we do short term. Let's say we get a 4 unit, we throw it on Airbnb. We get them on Airbnb. We take Erwin's course, and we know how to do this the right way now. Now, what we just did was we found a way to make that 22 grand a hell of a lot quicker. Why? We have leadership. So we have somebody to show us the right way of doing it that bumped his head first. So that's the importance of getting that leader because he bumped his head first or she bumped their head first. And now they're just telling you how you don't have to bump your head. So the idea now is we just skip the hard part. So if you want to know the real cheat code is getting yourself a real mentor, getting yourself in a real room of people that made the mistakes that just want to teach people how not to make the mistakes. So this is where that process comes in. And now also I know more ways to work this fourplex out because Erwin taught me multiple ways to flex this fourplex out. Right now we're making that 22,000 back and God knows how long, 4 months, 5 months, minimum payments on that credit card for 4 or 5 months. And then it's paid off randomly out of nowhere. It just gets paid off. Eureka. So now with that card paid off, you have a better relationship with the bank because now the bank is looking at you as a responsible adult, never been late, paid it off within a reasonable amount of time. But the goal is to do that within 30 to 60 days. So you can leverage the banks now and create a better communication with the bank to get more sponsorship. So what I always advise the people to, if they're going to do that, do it on a flip process. Do it on something that's going to make that money back like that. Or do it to where it's a keep and hold and refinance. When you refinance, take care of your bills. Either way you put it, any way you skin it, it's done. And you gave yourself an opportunity now to double leverage a system. You have a real estate system that you just created, and you made a relationship with the bank that's unbreakable. You can't whisper rumors to a bank, and they're going to change their mind about you. Once they see you pay off debt, they don't care what about you, bro. They're going to give you more money. They're going to leverage you, especially if you double, triple leverage the play and work with Navy, Fifth Third, Penn Fed, these banks with which we won't get crazy, internal scores. because those banks are the best banks to deal with when you're talking about leveraging anything, because all they care about is your personal relationship with them. They don't care about what Mr. TransUnion is talking about, Mr. Equifax is talking about. They don't even care what your mother's talking about. They want to know, what can you do for me and what can we do for you? So once you take care of that kind of situation with a bank with an internal score, you granted yourself and put yourself in a situation now where you triple leverage your system. So you can't lose. So sponsorship is key.
What's the internal score again?
Internal score is what Navy Federal has, Penn Fed and Fifth Third. What a internal score is, it's a system that they rather use first. Instead of looking at TransUnion to, base the thought process on whether or not you're reliable, if you opened up, let's say with a good way to get a great internal score with Navy Federal, let's just use the biggest one, right? Your pledge loans. Open up multiple pledge loans, 2, 3. Get a flagship checking account, personal. Fill that flagship up with as much as you can. Open up a business account. Get a money market account on both personal and business. Create a whole bunch of different accounts with them. If you have children like I do, I have a few, I forget the proper verbiage for their accounts, but I have 2 CD accounts, one for my daughter, one for my son. There's not a lot of money there, but guess what? It's a relationship. And that CD account is 7 years. So at the end of the day, you have a long-term relationship, a short-term relationship with the pledge loans. You have multiple different accounts, your flagship personal, your money market, and with all these things being touched, which I think you heard my ACH play before, with all these things being touched and all these, hitting these different accounts with different amounts of money or the same amount, wink, wink, there you go. Established relationship. Take it out of there. Hey, Mr. PenFed, how you doing? Do the same thing there. Hey, Mr. Fifth Third, nice to see you. Do the same thing there. Now we have 3 entities that would deal with us just with our personal relationship, and not what Mr. TransUnion or Equifax or Experience says. Just
Bruh.
us.
Hell yeah. Can you break down the ACH thing again?
So I have $10,000. Let's not do that. I have $5,000. Okay, $5,000 that I'm not using is just sitting in my money market account because I know that account holds the highest amount of interest, right, in all of banking. We do know that it's not a lot of money, right? So we take that, we put it into the checking flagship, and we do an ACH. I know that Navy Federal maximum ACH is $5,000. Do your diligence, my people. Find out what's the maximum that ACH can transfer at a time. And find out if there's a fee for that ACH transfer. For me, it's not. Navy, there's no fee. So I take that $5,000, because that's the tops they could give you is $5,000. Take that five and ship it to Mr. Chase. It's ACH, Mr. Chase. Chase has a bad habit of taking 72 hours for everything, bro. Whether it's coming to you or leaving you. It takes about 2 to 3 days, business days, to happen. So please do it on a Monday, because this is how it's going to work properly. ACH at the Chase, that $5,000 hits your business account. Let it rest for 24 hours. ACH that out. Mr. Fifth Third. Mr. Fifth Third is my personal account. So I'm paying myself. Then we ACH that to the last bank, which is the bank that charges for all ACHs, no matter what you do, is Truist. But I have a business account with Truist. So I go ahead and I'll send that to Truist, right? And then I'll take it physically out of Truist because my Chase is across the street from my house, put it back in my Chase, and send that right back to Navy. ACH it to Navy. But when I'm putting into Chase, it goes directly back to the personal on Chase. And then from the personal Chase, I ACH it to the personal Navy, not the business Navy, but the personal Navy. And then I just go ahead and transfer it to the business. Because no matter what with Navy, Whether you transfer ACH or Navy to Navy or whatever, bro, you look legit.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you creating relationships, moving it around, and now you have relationships with all the banks.
And every time we do that, if we're at the right part of our lives, audit wise, I should say, we have the opportunity now to right then and there fund ourselves. So when you fund yourself and you have, you put 5,000 in there, you go for about 10 to 15,000 with at least a 20 credit score, 720. I would say the right data points would be one inquiry, 720 credit score, utilization under 3%, 3% or under, and your debt to ratio obviously has to be realistic, right? So if you know you have any of these issues and any of these things are over or under or just not there, don't fund yourself. Don't try to get funding, because the more attempts that you make on yourself, the more you give these bureaus the power to play with you. The less you extend your situation, the less that you make yourself available to the nonsense, is where you save yourself, bro. So only do what you know you're going to do. If you know you're going to get that credit card, get it. But if you don't know, don't reach for it.
Yeah, so definitely something that you're passionate about, is credit and the importance of helping people. And I know you drop this game all the time at your VOE every Thursday. I want to ask you a question, bro. Like, what made you get into all this credit and be so knowledgeable about this stuff, bro?
I always love money, bro. Like, I'm not to sound ignorant, not to be foolish at all. I always loved money, right? And I always wanted to see, like, how do I protect myself? When I make these new decisions of being an entrepreneur, how do I like gauge the opportunities? Like, how do I even know there's an opportunity there? And I realized it all has to do with money. It all has to do with income. If there's no income, there's no outcome. So when it comes down to it, I had the opportunity now to step out of some of the things that I was doing, a few years ago, that possibly wasn't that great for me. It just wasn't a good situation. And the only way I could do it is if I actually make enough money to cover the lifestyle that I got for my children, for myself. As a man, I don't want to step down on my kids. I already spoiled my children with anything that they want. And I don't just mean name fashion clothes. I don't mean just that ignorant thing. I'm talking about anything my babies point at, I want to be able to shoot. And that's just my dedication to my children. I can't do that if I don't get into something high liquid, something that I can control. You know what I'm saying? I can't control anything else in life, but something that has paperwork and receipts. I don't want to get too far off. Credit is paperwork and receipts. Credit states if you do A, B, and C correct, you will receive the rest of the alphabet. You understand? So it gives you an actual blueprint in a black and white to be able to be successful in both personal and business. So in order for me to be able to straighten myself out and be the best father that I can be, I had to make a decision to go back to the workforce or create something that I've never done before. And that's what it was for me. I ran into a him 500 post, before he got big. This was back in 2019, before COVID, pre-COVID. And when I seen what this gentleman did for, I think it was like 10 of his people, he literally changed their life for credit. And he made ample opportunities for them. When I seen those opportunities happen, bro, I was like, yeah, it's true. Because one of the gentlemen he did it for was somebody I knew personally in Atlanta. And this dude that I knew in Atlanta personally, let's just say he wasn't going to make it in life without these opportunities.
Word. So that I mean, that's something that a lot of people can relate to. Just taking it back to your kids, man, and just wanting to provide for them. And when you have your child, it kind of changes you and it gives you that motivation to push a little bit more. And
Really,
you have to do it. It's not like I want to do it. You have to do it.
no choice. By hook or by crook, sir.
Mm, that's what's
Yeah.
up. So you're gonna make it regardless, and your children's motivate you. Who are some other people in your life, man, that has like inspired you to get this knowledge and to be where you are today, bro?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I tried my best to get good at this credit thing, right? Because my grandmother was in love with Mark Anthony, a Southside singer that all of us in the Bronx grew up on.
Okay.
My life goal, bro, was to get enough money to get him to sing happy birthday to my abuela. Straight up.
Mm,
I'm a grandma's boy, homie. Whatever can make her smile, I wanted to do 17 times a day. Just
mm,
because without her, I wouldn't even have the common knowledge to know right from wrong, when to fold and when to go, you
mm,
know? So that was like a real motivation to me because I really needed her to be happy because she was on her last leg.
right.
And I knew what I was gonna have her for long. So this last August, August 10th to be exact, was her transitioning date. That's when she left us. And all I could think of is I'm like 6 months away from doing that for her. I
Mm,
literally am right now.
right.
Right now, I could say I'm like 4 months away from being in a position to where I can do that for her because what Mark Anthony wanted was 50,000. And I
Oh,
needed to have 50,000 to get him to perform for my abuela. Like
wow.
that was the idea, bro. And I did all that work and all that strategy and all that to make sure my abuela was good. And she transitioned a little earlier than we planned.
Mm,
And the crazy part about it, that's my motivation in life, man. My grandmother taught me how to get dressed. She taught me how to put on cologne. She taught me, I'm a grandma's boy, homie. Like I was raised by the elders. I was raised by I was raised by the I think the baby boomers were in the 50s. My grandmother was born like, don't let her call it. She was born in 87. But she, she was born around that era, bro. And I come from that era, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was really raised by old heads. And I was blessed to have her. So my motivation comes from my grandmother, bro. And that's someone that taught me that, numbers make the world go round. Everything is a math equation. Um, as long as your math is on point, business can't go wrong. And that's literally been my motivation. She's been my tool. She's been my muse for life. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's my daughter and my son. Then now it's them. Because my son being a teenager shows me patience is all you need in life. Because a teenage man is a different kind of beast.
right, right.
So
But that's
definitely, bro.
that's good that you're in his life, man, and you want to provide for them. And God rest your soul to your
Thank you.
grandmother. Definitely, man, she gave you the power to really provide for your kids now. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, if it wasn't for her, homie, if it wasn't for her, there'll be no me.
Mm,
Real talk, all due respect to right now, I'm sitting in my mother's house in Orlando. And all due respect to Mama Love. But if it wasn't for Abuela, there's no Ola. And that's just facts.
that's what's up. That's what's up, bro. So you got to go harder, harder for her. And you know
Stupid
what I'm
hard.
saying?
Stupid hard.
Yes,
She's watching me now, kid. Now
absolutely.
she's really watching my ass. She's on me. Like, for real, for real.
Hey, that's right. Let's get it. Let's get it. Man, that's what's up. So grandma, kids, force you to not, yeah, like made you really give you that push. You got to make it happen, bro. And I can definitely relate to that, man, because like the kids and my mother, my grandmother, it's just something different, man. When you talk about family, you gotta do it for them, bro. Like you gotta be that one to break the generational curse. And you are the one who's gonna, what I'm saying, take the family to a whole nother level.
Can I add to that, bro? I don't mean to cut you off. Excuse me.
Absolutely.
that generational curse that you just spoke on, there's no way to break that shit with adults, right? Follow me on this. There's no way that we can get a 30-year-old man, scratch that, 27-year-old man. Let's get that low, right? There's no way we're going to get a 27-year-old man in the ideologies that they have, right? Because I'm speaking about people from my side of town. I'm speaking about people from the poverty side. The Bronx is the poorest place in the country because of how many people are in it. It's how much money is actually being made. Not because it has tall buildings and it looks, certain parts of the Bronx, as you know, don't look decrepit. It looks very stable, right? But in these buildings are people that are only generating up to 20 to 28,000 a year. And they're used to that. And they're making the best out of that because majority of their money goes to Metro, to their Metro card. You see how expensive that shit is. Or it goes to just being able to live, right? So, and if you look at the Bronx, New York, and how high we are in culture, we are driven in culture in that town. You there in the summertime, you hear the music, you see the people. We not scared of COVID, homie. Like that, we had worse than COVID in the Bronx. Trust me, it's called crack. And when it comes down to it, we had everything we've ever needed in life through community, but we never had money. I cannot change nobody in my town. I'm speaking about my town. I can't change nobody in my town 27 and up. I got to go to the 16-year-olds. I got to go to the 17-year-olds. I got to teach them. They're going to break that curse. Just because me at the age of 35 made the decision to learn credit and made the decision to stop being more of a damage to the community and be a benefit to the community is me. Bro, I still got brothers in the town that just hear me and they'd rather say I'm proud of you than say, how'd you do it? The ignorance and the pride is so high where I'm from. I can't get nobody to want to break the curse at this age. But guess what? Their nephews, their nieces, their sons, their daughters. Oh, Papa, that's Ola, that's Chino. Oh, that's Big Chino. Look, he's talking about credit. Yo, Pa, why you not listening to him? They can't teach old dogs new tricks. We got to go to the under. We got to get under the generations. We have to go to the younger generations so that curse can be broken. We cannot break that curse with old dogs. It just is what it is. The term is real. I don't want to call us dogs because we're not dogs. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be that ignorant, you're a dog. It's time to learn a new trick. But if you don't want to learn it, I'm going to teach it to your son. I'm going to teach it to your daughter. I'm going to teach it to your niece and nephews, and they're going to teach you themselves, or you're going to follow their lead and let them be the ones to lead. Because it can't be, it just can't be an age thing, man. It's like we all have to grow up. We have to get past certain things, bro.
That's right. That's deep. That's deep. Definitely, that's how you're gonna affect change. It's through the youth, because they are young, they're hungry, they need to know, and they need to be led into the right direction, man. So that's powerful, bro. Man. So a lot of game being dropped. I just want to ask you, man, this is the income producing assets show. What does income producing assets mean to you?
Everything. Without income ain't no outcome. And without an asset, you're just a liability. In the essence of us always having money's never been short, right? Just because you may not have a lot of money in life doesn't mean money is short. It just means you're short. So if you're the one that's short, shouldn't you want to pick up the ideology to learn what an asset is? Don't you want to change your mind frame to know what a liability is? You might not have a lot of money in life because you just don't know what those are. So you need income-based assets. Without that, how are we going to be able to fund you correctly? How are we going to be able to tell the banks, hey, he makes this much money? We have to prove that. So there has to be income. There's nothing we're doing any more scamming or faking till you make it, any of that nonsense. I feel like income and assets are proof and receipts. And is the actual only benefit there really is when being a business owner. Because, I was told, from a very reliable source that entrepreneur in its full true definition is to attempt business, to make an attempt at business. That doesn't sound successful, does it? I'm not making an attempt at nothing in life, bro. I'm going to succeed, and that's it. So I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner, multiple business owner. So at the end of the day, the income, that's the outcome.
That's heat. That's heat. That's what's up. That's what's up. Very, very powerful, bro. With what you got going on, bro, how do you balance like all you got going on with family, or how you balance your time, man, with doing all these things and stuff?
Everything I do kind of correlates with each other. So like, all right, so we know I start with credit. And without funding from my credit, I can't do anything else. So reason why, because I don't like using my money. My money belongs to me. I'm Mr. OPM. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to use as much as I can outside to build my inside. And that's just it. So when it comes down to balance, I don't believe there should be a balance. I believe there should be just getting jobs done. Get the job done. If I'm balancing it, that means I'm holding it for too long. And I'm still doing the same thing for too long. I'm not going to be able to progress and go to the next. So everything that I like to do is I like to do things that correlate with one another. So if I'm going to get funding, I'm getting funding for a purpose. This funding is going to this property. This funding is going to this rental unit, this for a corporate lease. This funding is going to anything else that I like to do. I got a water company as well that we spoke about yonder ago that I totally didn't really jump on. Like me and my parents were just inside talking about it with JD earlier. Yo, what's up with the water? It's there, but I've been so caught up, right? Because like you just said, the whole balance part, the water had nothing to do with everything else that I was doing. So the water kind of didn't fit into the process of everything else. So in that process, I ended up, pushing the water back. But then I started doing more real estate. I started doing a little, I tried to jump into the calls and puts, the option game. I tried to jump into a lot of different things, but the only things I had to truly balance is what didn't fit. And if I got to balance it, then I don't really want it. I want to do things that I just go in, annihilate it, bro, and get back to my family and have time for my family. I want to, and you can control your life. I just feel like nowadays a lot of people forget that we have 100% control of our lives. And we don't have to do things that force us to balance. We can do things that correlate. So there really isn't too much of a balance. Go get the job done because you could create that plan around something that you know. Without you knowing the subject matter, you can't create a plan around it. So I think that's what it is for me. There'll be no balancing, sir. I'm not good at it. But I am going to strategically put a plan together and create something that gives me time to kill that, get home to my baby, make sure they go to jiu-jitsu, make sure that my son, has that dad and son time. I got a teenager, so he needs his time with pops, whether he likes it or not. You know what I'm saying? Little mama, I can't get her off me. She's literally attached to me. So, I got to be around, bro. Like right now, I was just with my family literally 10 hours ago. We were just in Miami. 10 hours later, we're up here in Orlando. I'll be back home Tuesday morning, bro. They won't miss me because we're correlating, putting things on the schedule, creating a time span, knocking it down, getting the hell out the way, and moving on to something new. I hope that made sense.
Absolutely, absolutely, bro. It did. And I love that, man, that you know what I'm saying, you're able to be around. We all have issues with teenage boys. We know how that goes. And then
Yeah.
your daughter loving on you, man. You're there, you're present. And that's important, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's really important. Just to be that figure in their life, for sure. So I always ask this question, bro. If you were down to your last $100, what can somebody do to bounce back?
Sheesh. Sheesh. That's a hard one. Talking to a legit man now, sir. It's a little different. So all right, so with $100, you on some Grant Cardone, I see. Um, do I have resources with this $100?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. I got resources. I can do that. Because you took all the resources from me that I can't do that. But all right. So basically with that $100, the first thing I'm doing is putting 2 primary trade lines on my credit report, because you could do that with $100. Consult at boenation.com. Find out how. Then I throw that on. Once that report starts aging, I understand that those reports are going to my 2, 4, and 5. I find the banks that fund a 2, 4, and 5, which is any bank in Pennsylvania, jewel dropped. And from there, I find which data point will serve me over the number that I have. 9 times out of 10, if you let a primary account age 3 months, which is 90 days, on your report, you'll have with a decent report, no collections, no inquiries, you'll have over a 680 naturally, especially with 5 reports or more on your report, right? So this is all saying with that situation being perfect world type shit. With that done, I'm gonna go hit those 2, 4, and 5s. I'm gonna give me a line of credit or a credit card 30K and over from each bank. I'm gonna do that about 5 times that day. I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna take that $100 and turn it into either 150 to 250,000, and I'm gonna liquidate that shit and go do something extreme with it. And make sure I put $100 in a picture frame, because that's where it started. Yeah, I like that.
Gems drop for sure. Absolutely, bro. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself extremely happy. I see no monetary true value, materialistic items. I don't see any of that shit because it's already here. So that wouldn't put any value to me, but I see myself in a sense of complete ownership. I see myself, when I say complete ownership, I mean actual everything that I touch, I own. There's like no renting in the aspect of it, right? No form of renting, leasing, any of that. Complete ownership. I see myself teaching my son all the tricks credit could give him. And I see myself stepping down in that next 5-year span and handing it over to my junior and allowing him to go through the back and forths, the ups and downs, not too many downs, but the ups of things, and being able to pass that torch in 5 years. Bro, I'm 37. 5 years, you're over my retirement line. I'm retiring at 40. I'm talking about from doing anything hands-on. I'm living off of what I'm doing between 37 and 40. Mark those words. You say 5, I say 3. That's a fact.
Let's go. And nothing's stopping you from going there for sure.
Not
and
a damn thing.
I definitely see you doing all that stuff. So when you come back on in 3 years, we're gonna have to talk. And
that's 40.
You're gonna be definitely hitting those spots. I'm gonna see with how will your son be?
My son will be in 3 years. My son will be 18 years old.
He'll be
going
ready.
On 19.
19. So he'll be ready. Probably taller than you.
He already is.
Yeah. Looking down on you, like, Dad, I got this.
He better. He better. I'm gonna talk about the PS3, 4, 5. Like, hold on. So you buy all this for nothing? Nah, cool, for sure. Cool. For sure, man.
Man, bro, it's definitely, man, love talking to you, chopping it up, man, and hearing your story. And definitely, I know you motivate somebody out there to definitely, man, take your path and get with BOE Nation. You want to go ahead and tell us what BOE Nation is?
Oh yeah, for sure. Building on evolution. The community name is Evolutionary Minds. The idea of BOE is BOE was many things. I've owned this company for about 7 years now. But what it's become is a location for people to build and catch their evolution, because everybody changes. Everybody makes that decision at different times in life. Sometimes it takes different situations to make you change because you didn't know you needed to change. And that was what I call an evolution, because at the end of the day, I didn't know I needed to either, but I had to. And this is where you're going to find that evolution, at building our evolution. And a lot of times you just don't know it until you're introduced to it. So this is where your introduction begins. Every Thursday night, as you plug me in many times already, brother, thank you very much. Meet the Plug, the podcast, putting the crew. Sir, you are a member of the Evolutionary Minds as well, brother. People like yourself, actual plugs, people that are distinguished in their subject matter, to come speak and teach the rest of the community what this subject really is, because the 9 times out of 10, we just don't know. We don't know that it's that easy to do that, whatever that subject matter is. And what I just talking to JD in the car up, taking that trip down, up to Orlando, and saying things like, bro, if you could do one thing right, you could do everything. I can't see myself not being able to do shit unless I'm just lazy. And I don't have an interest. Either you're lazy about it or you just don't got an interest in it. And that's the reason why you can't do it. But if you could sit down and learn a format like credit, or if you could learn a format like real estate, you could learn a format like insurance, life or medical. If you could learn a format, these are all formats. If you can learn one, why can't you learn two? It's only by choice, nothing more, nothing less. And that's really it, bro. I'm sorry, you got me ranting, man.
Nah, that's what's up, bro. Definitely, it is by choice. Your brain can do everything, anything you want. The human brain is just extremely powerful, and humans can train themselves to do all kind of incredible things. And you're absolutely right. And I love what you're talking about building the community, giving back, and people just don't know. And take the time to learn from somebody who does know, and you provide that platform for people to know. Definitely learned a lot from you, and appreciate you for coming on. Be respectful of your time, dropping game, man. Can you tell the people like where they can reach you?
No, for sure. Facebook, BOE Nation. We have a private community on Facebook called Evolutionary Minds. If interested, send me an email at consult@boenation.com. President Ola Chi Ladi. Let me say it the right way. President _ Ola _ Chi _ no underscore, on IG. Building _R _ evolution. That's also IG as well. And the best one, boenation.com. It just dropped 4 days ago. So I kind of forgot all about it, right? So that's where you'll find a lot of our digital products, credit repair, ebooks. I have a product that I wrote myself called the Evolutionary Enumerate. And that's just a really great way of saying money list. And that money list is basically a list of products that you can do on your phone to create 5 figures minimum a year. It's a $97 product. And I also have banking, because you know me, Erwin, Mr. Banks. I love talking to banks. I love finding out what they know. I like to know all their data points, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to probe as far as I can go. I literally make meetings with the banking managers just to talk to them about their data points. I'll sit down with them for about 45 minutes to an hour and not sign one paper, not do one application, just talk about data points. And then from there, get the information I need and bring it back to the community, to the village. So now everybody can understand these data points and everybody can know what direction to go. So boenation.com is a huge, huge pillar to the community as it's growing. The evolutionary minds community is going to be, it's not going to be, it is the most fundamental strategy for right now. What we're going through right now, inflation, anything you could think of. I have tips on how to deal with inflation in that room, and if you ever need me to drop some tips, bro, let me know. I got you. You're my brother. I don't got no problem doing that for you. And these tips that I'm gonna be dropping out, these one-liners, I'm gonna be dropping out. I'm gonna be doing this consistently, are to help us right now. We're not talking about mind frame. I don't, all due respect to those that want to teach behavior and that want to teach ideology and that want to teach mind frame. All respect to everybody that wants to do that. I'm going to tell you what mind frame you need to get what you need. I'm not going to try to coach you on to have a mind frame that you do not have. I'm going to work on your strengths and we're going to exceed those strengths so the weaknesses just don't happen. If you're worried about your strengths, you can't catch any weak moments. If you're focused on your strengths, the weakness never happens because you're so focused on the strength. It's all about mind power and what you're on. What's your focus? So that's what this community is. It's about focus. So if you have, any of those kind of problems that you need help, I would say a therapist is well used. But when you want to come over here and learn how to make some money, come sign a death row.
Hey, let's go. Hey, there you have it. There you have it, man. Appreciate you, brother. You be blessed.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you. All right,
You're the man, brother. Thank you so much.